Contact lenses are class 2 and 3 medical devices, and as such should be managed by professionals.
The reason that it is a medical device is because it sits right on our eyeball, and it is made up of a piece of plastic and water combination, which, though the technology has improved greatly over the years in the manufacturing of these lenses, there's still a limit as to how much oxygen is transmitted to our eye through the material. It's important to be fit properly. There are different designs of contact lenses, there are different materials. Each soft contact lens is made up of a different material, and it's imperative for an optometrist to fit the patient in the proper lens for that person's eye and eye chemistry.
With poorly fitting contact lenses comes poor tear exchange, which can lead to infectious keratitis that can be so severe that you can lose your eye from the infections. So it's very important that doctors not only get the power of the contact right, but professionally assess the fit to make sure that they're getting good tear exchange, that the movement is correct. And there's an element of education as well, that sitting down and talking to your patient about ways to minimize their risk of getting an infection that they don't get when they just go online.
The contact lens evaluation is really critical to getting the proper fit for a patient. So that involves getting a very good case history from the patient, finding out what type of activities they're involved in, what type of environment they're in, both from an internal perspective, so office settings, as well as the outdoor activities that they're involved in. All of that factors into coming up with the correct lens material for them, because all contact lenses are not developed the same. So that combined with knowing the patient's family history, their health history, and the cornea, their anatomy and physiology of the eye, all of those contribute to coming up with a safe and healthy fit for that patient. We believe really strongly in the doctor-patient relationship, and for exactly that reason. It is a combination of the patient's anatomy, physiology, their healthcare needs, their daily activity needs, that all go into determining what's the best material and what's the best modality for wear. So some patients are really best with a single-use lens where there's no solutions involved and minimal care associated with that. But there are also patients who do well with a 2-week lens modality as well as a monthly lens modality. But what's really critical about that is the doctor should be involved in that conversation and making that determination.
If a patient is sleeping in a lens, I want to be aware of it and I want to monitor that patient more carefully, because when you're sleeping in a contact lens, there are a host of other risks involved. Your eye is drier overnight, so you're not getting as much tear flow through the lens, you're not getting as much oxygen breathing through the lens, and you're not cleaning the lens on a regular basis. So there's just a great deal more risk of developing an infection or an irritated eye if you sleep overnight in a lens.
With 2-week and 1-month contact lenses, 1 in 500 people will get a very serious eye infection from their contact lenses. That's why you're much better off using single-use contact lenses. If you have to use monthly or 2-week contact lenses, you must take care of them, because you want to decrease your risk of a condition called infectious keratitis, or as we call it, a corneal ulcer. That's an infection on the front part of your eye that could lead to blindness and needs a very aggressive antibiotic treatment.
Contact lenses are very safe if used properly.
The healthiest mode of wear is a daily disposable lens. That's a lens which is disposed of on a daily basis. The reason it's the healthiest is because it's the cleanest. For those patients who wear a single-use daily disposable lens, cleaning is not an issue. For those patients who do clean their lenses nightly and reuse the lens for 2 weeks or a month, it is imperative that they take care of the lenses properly.
We know for a fact that buildup of debris from improper cleaning increases the risk of patients developing infectious keratitis. And so the more you replace them, the less buildup there is, unless your patient is extremely good at cleaning them.
There's many different types of cleaners out there, many companies that make contact lens cleaners and disinfectants. You need to listen to your doctor's instructions and follow it. If you wear a 2-week or 1-month contact lens, you're going to be storing it in a case. So it's very important that you disinfect that case. So after you put the contact lenses in, there's solution that's left over. You need to dump out that solution and rinse it out with a little bit more solution, dump that out and let it air dry. You also want to replace your contact lens case at least every month. Most infections come from the contact lens case.
The lens should be cleaned nightly. When you take the contact lens out of your eye, you're not supposed to put it directly in the solution. Patients aren't aware of this oftentimes, but a patient should not ever rinse their contact lens case or their contact lenses with water. There have been instances where patients have gotten extremely serious eye infections from contaminants in tap water getting from the contact lens case to the contact lenses. You should also wash your hands thoroughly before you handle contact lenses. That's imperative. You should only use the solution that's recommended by the eye doctor. If you're wearing a lens that you're cleaning on a nightly basis, you should never top off your solution. It's important that you dump your solution out every morning when you put your contact lenses in, and that you put fresh solution in that night. You want to be sure that you air dry your case during the day. If you shut your case and the case is empty, there's typically a little solution, residual solution in the bottom of the case. And if the case is closed, you're creating an environment in which something can grow inside the case.
When we think of contact lenses, most of the time we think of what's called a spherical lens, which corrects for either nearsightedness or farsightedness. But we also have really great technology that also corrects for astigmatism. And that's when the eye is a little more irregular in shape, and so a particular type of lens is needed to help balance on the eye and put the correct prescription directly at center on the patient's eye so that they can have the best visual outcomes. For those of us who are starting to reach the age of wisdom, where you're pushing things out a little bit, I'm really excited about the fact that we have great technology in contact lenses. For those of us who've been in contact lenses for years and years, can stay in our contact lenses in presbyopic multifocal contact lenses.
So there are different types of contacts. People that need bifocals, when they get over 40, they lose their ability to focus. That's called presbyopia. And they have a different prescription for distance, they have a different prescription for reading. Now there are contact lenses to allow you to see distance and reading, and they even have it in 1 days. So it's a miracle of an invention that the contact lens companies have spent millions of dollars in research and development to be able to bring the public and bring the doctors contact lenses that we could fit you with so you could have vision for distance and near. And also if you have astigmatism, which is two shapes to the front of the eye. So if you have astigmatism, you have a different prescription vertically than you do horizontally. They actually have to put two prescriptions in that contact lens. They put a contact lens prescription vertically, they put a prescription in horizontally, they put a weight in the contact lens because when you put it in your eye, it has to sit a certain way. If you take your glasses and you have astigmatism and you turn your glasses like this, you'll see it's distorted. The contact lens can't do it, so they put this little micro weight on it to keep the contact lens in the right place so it doesn't rotate on your eye.
You do have less oxygen getting through your eye through the contact lens. The material isn't 100% permeable to oxygen. The lens can tighten up over time, especially if it's not fit properly or if you haven't been to your optometrist in a good while and we haven't seen how the lens is performing on your eye. So contact lens wear can cause infection, can cause red eyes. If you sleep in contact lenses, you're certainly more vulnerable to developing infections, ulcers on the surface of your eye, different issues because you're not getting as much oxygen to your eye. Number one, when you're asleep, you're not getting as much oxygen as it is. Secondly, your eye is getting drier when you're asleep. And if you have this piece of plastic on your eye and you're sleeping in it, you're just setting yourself up for more risk of developing an infection. Plus, the lens isn't being cleaned regularly, so that's another issue. Deposits can get on the lens, dirt can get on the lens, and this can cause damage to the surface of your eye because, again, it's preventing oxygen from transmitting to your eye properly.
I think all contact lens wearers require routine follow-up. We tend to see our contact lens wearers once we get our fit set every 6 months or so just to reassess the fit.
Our commitment to healthcare is long-standing, and that involves eye health, that involves nutrition, and it's really easy to just take a moment to ask the patients, what are you eating on a regular basis? And making sure that you give them some encouragement with their contact lenses to, number one, drink water. Water hydrates and helps you stay happy and comfortable in your contact lenses. Patients sometimes forget to blink. Blinking is important with contact lenses because you want to bring a fresh tear film across the eye on a regular basis.
Contact lenses are a miracle. There are so many benefits to them. Most people will see better with contact lenses. I can't tell you how often I'll have somebody with a high prescription. They come in, we fit them with a contact lens, and they've never seen like that before, and tears will roll down their face because of the way they could see through contact lenses. Your peripheral vision is much better. It's much safer to drive. You do much better in sports with contact lenses. Your vision is so much better with contact lenses. Thank you for watching Open Your Eyes. Be sure to tune in for more informative episodes.